All right.
Hello, treasures.
Mr. Bradley, through his
Here
attorney,
we
informed me
go.
that he would be here today in person. I don't see
Mr.
him in the
Bradley
gallery. Do we know if
has
he's
to
out in the hallway?
testify. Again, no
All right,
privileged
we can, call for Mr.
information
Bradley.
between him and Mr. Wade. Please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell and leave us comments. Share us out. We love you, treasures. Let's get on with it.
That's fine. I do.
Terrence Bradley, Terrence Bradley, Bradley.
Under these circumstances, I'm going to just go straight to where we left off before. Nathan and Wade were in a romantic relationship, correct?
Correct.
And it began at the time that they were both municipal court judges, correct?
Objection, Your Honor, based on privilege.
No privilege.
Objections
Okay.
already.
I do not have knowledge of it starting or when it started.
Terrence, you told me that it started when they were both municipal court judges, though, correct?
That is incorrect.
Ooh. Where's
you
her
never
text messages? She offered them to the
confirmed in
courts.
writing that it was, instead of magistrate court, it was in municipal court judge when they started dating.
If you're speaking of the text message, you can go to that text message and you can read that text message, and I
Wow.
will explain the text message to you. But you and I did not have a conversation about when it started. You asked a
Wow.
compound question of magistrate court versus. I mean, you said it was magistrate court municipal you said magistrate court conference. I'm sorry.
That's
and then
what you
asked
get
another
when
question.
you got an
I said
attorney
no.
on as a witness,
Municipal court.
I guess.
Nothing else.
I'm referring to a different conversation. I asked you, do you think it started before she hired him?
And I'm going to object. This was covered in the previous hearing where
Is it
Mr.
overruled?
Bradley said he had no personal knowledge of the exact text that Ms. Virgin is speaking of and actually used in an attempt to refresh his recollection. And he explained exactly what he's explaining before the court. So this is repetitive and unnecessary. I would object to past answered and relevance of this point.
All right. Perhaps we'll get there, but I think first Ms. Merchant has the right
There we
to
go.
draw his attention to the exact, potentially
Sustained.
inconsistent statement.
Thank you, Judge. May I approach?
Okay.
So overruled.
This is
You may.
the text.
Overruled. Answer. He probably forgot the question.
And for purposes of the record, I believe, Ms. Merchant, you tendered, was it the entire text chain as an exhibit?
I only tendered a few of the texts, but I did give the state their courtesy copies last time of the exhibits.
Was this one tendered?
This one was not tendered.
All right.
And I'm happy to tender it.
We'll just take it as it comes. Whatever you
We're
need.
at, I think we're at 30. So, Terrence, do you remember telling me that it started when she left the DA's office and was a judge in South Fulton?
I see the message there, but I don't recall. I do see that message, but I do not recall.
You don't recall texting this?
I look back at my text messages through that we've had. I see that message, but I do not recall that. No, ma'am.
And if you thought it started before she hired him and you responded absolutely.
Your Honor, I'm going to object as to the source of the information that Mr. Bradley allegedly gathered this from.
I think there's going to be a lot of objections.
Based on the argument at the last hearing.
What do
A
you
lot of this
think?
is based on gossip, innuendo, assumption, and privileged information. And at this point, Ms. Merchant has not provided a foundation as to how Mr. Bradley would have any information that she keeps referring to.
All right. I think that's... Go ahead, Ms. Merchant.
I didn't ask him about the source of the information. And under Rule 621, I can impeach him with any inconsistent facts. This is an inconsistent fact. I can impeach him with any contrary facts.
Sure.
This is a
Why would
contrary
it
fact.
be a relevant impeachment if he actually has no personal knowledge of this?
If he doesn't.
Sure.
have
So
personal
I think you
knowledge.
have to lay that foundation then, so that'll be sustained.
Ooh. Okay.
Do you remember telling me that it began?
Well, that doesn't address the issue.
No, I'm not. I was just asking if you remember telling me as opposed to the
Okay.
text.
Sure.
Do you remember telling me that it began?
Well, no, and then you're going into the substance of it, which we haven't determined whether he actually knows or how he knows.
In fact, you corrected me when I said magistrate court. You corrected me and said it was municipal court. Do you
Yeah.
remember that?
Same objection, Your Honor.
This is the exact same issue, right?
Well, I'm asking if he remembers that. He hasn't answered that question yet.
Right, but the relevance of whether he remembers it
It's going to be a
isn't established until we
long
know how he
day.
remembers it or why he knows it. If that makes sense. I guess not.
I'm sorry. How he knows it? I'm just asking if he told me that.
Right.
So I wasn't asking how he knew that. I wasn't asking the source of that knowledge. I was asking if he told me that.
Sure.
That was it.
But that's the point.
A lot of
How he knows
discussion.
the source of the knowledge is the same with conjecture.
Well, he's telling her, and I think we need to figure that out before we can go any further.
Yes. And if the source of the information is a witness who testified, then it's not hearsay. So when did the relationship start?
I cannot answer that.
When was your first knowledge of the relationship?
Objection, Your Honor. He's already answered that question multiple times today. He said he had no idea the timeline or when it
Objection,
occurred.
objection, Your Honor,
I
objection.
didn't ask when. I asked his first knowledge. He testified he has knowledge that they had a relationship. I asked him when he first got knowledge of that.
Okay, so the
True.
question is, when did you first get knowledge? I think we can start there.
That was the question. Yes.
All right.
Thank you. When did you first get knowledge of their relationship?
I've said over again that I didn't have any personal information where I could personally say when it started. I've said that time and time again. So I don't know when the relationship started.
And that wasn't my question. So my question is, when did you first gain knowledge? I didn't ask the source of the knowledge.
No.
I didn't ask you to comment on the validity of the knowledge. I asked when you first had knowledge.
We'll get to the how, Mr. Abadi. So I'll note the objection, overrule it. You can answer that.
That seems so silly that he doesn't know what acknowledge
But He
means.
said he has no personal knowledge, so it's clear he had to gain the knowledge not from hearsay.
I love you, treasures, and I will see you on the
Well,
next
most of us-
one. Remember,
but
you're all
here's the question
beautiful.
of whether-
and
whether
always
it's
keep
admissible,
on
right?
smiling.
And that's what we got to get to. So,
I apologize.
When did you first get knowledge? I'm not qualifying what type of knowledge. I'm just asking when you first knew about the relationship.
I don't know how to answer that.
I don't
mean,
recall.
So
That's what you do.
I can't give you a date if you're asking for a date. If you're asking me, how did I get the knowledge? It would have come directly from my client.
Right.
So help me understand.
I think you say you can't answer that question. You don't know the date. So that's the answer to the question.
But I said that 5 minutes ago.
We have to make it clear.
Yes, sir.
Next question, Ms. Merchant.
So you don't know the specific date.
No.
Do you know if it, can we narrow down the timeline? Did you gain knowledge in 2019 of this relationship beginning?
I'm going to object to this line of questioning as he said he does not know
Sure.
when he gained
All right.
knowledge.
He doesn't know the specific
That's
date.
fine, Ms. Merchant. I think I'm overruling that. I think we can try to see if he can narrow it down based on goalposts.
Thank you.
19, I would probably say no. I mean, I don't have anything that there wasn't a specific date. There wasn't a football game. There wasn't something that I can attribute to him telling me whatever.
What do you guys
And
think,
so
treasures?
you're asking for
Does
a
he
date, you're
remember
asking for
or
a
is he
year, it's still a
fibbing?
date.
Let
And
me
at
know in
this
the
time,
comments.
I am telling you that